The problem with these topics is not that they're forbidden or that you can't talk about them. The problem with these topics is that they hit our innermost thoughts and intentions, right? Because we, at least in my experience, I've seen people get butthurt over these topics because they are beliefs that their parents gave them. And what if my parents aren't right? That never actually popped in their head at any point. So they don't know how to react to that except for reacting with violence or abruptly or with some kind of aggression or aggressive intent behind that action. And religion should not be about that at all. I mean, you can discuss religion with any kind of person. You all believe the same thing, at least in theory, right? Whatever those books that you seem to deem magical or sacred in some way, they're just, and however many attempts that we take into making them as sacred as we believe they are just books. They're trying to give us ideas about how our existence should be managed because apparently an instruction is needed in that regard. Otherwise, we become mindless robots or mindless savage animals, and who says that we have to? That might have been whenever we didn't actually know what was going on and how things worked, or most of the things worked, or that we could actually just invent gods and magic books and we would be able to not pay taxes. Because being honest, that's what most religions are, right? They're ways of evading taxes and getting rich out of people's faiths. Because they don't take into account the most important lesson that they should be teaching, which is life is valuable. Leave it. Otherwise, you're going to just become this regretful and sour and spiteful person who only does damage to the world and is, how we call it in Spanish, metiche and chismosas and that sort of people that become entangled in other people's business just because they can somehow intervene, right? And those are the people who pressure other people to be like them because that's the way that it needs to be, or that's the right way to do things. When there's nothing written about that, the only thing that's written is that you need to love yourself to understand what you are able to do with your life, and basically enjoy your experience. It's not about stupid rules about not eating some kind of food or nothing like that. Those rules were meant for times that require those kind of rules because of hygiene or other purposes that were, some of them were even just dumb ideas that somehow became sacred and they make no sense because they even limit your sexual experience to something shameful, to something that needs to be avoided at all costs. But you are a sexual being, so why does that rule still a thing? Why does that rule still keeps on damaging experiences and making them feel unvaluable or lesser than when it's just sex? It doesn't matter if you have it or not, as long as you enjoy it and you do it with a person who's willing to do it with you or wants to do it with you. As long as you're consensual about that part, then nothing else really matters in that regard. You can love who you want to love. You can enjoy the body of whoever you want to enjoy, and that's fine. It doesn't make you a whore. It doesn't make you an easy A or whatever it is that the term is. It's just envious people trying to make you feel bad about you enjoying your experience, and they're them not being able to because of the rules in those books that don't make no sense for their experience. So again, they become spiteful and regretful and awful people, and that's the norm. And it sounds harsh, and it sounds like I'm being exaggerated or something like that, but it's not. It's really not. The people that I've seen that most enjoy life are the people who actually do what they want to do with their life, who travel to the places they want to travel, that inspires them to do so, who do things that are not common, that are how they call them impossible dreams, and they end up doing them, and it's nothing impossible. They just were able to do it, and they are happy, and I see it in their faces and in their sincere smiles and everywhere that you can look. And I think that that's where we're going the other way in our perception of what religion is. Religion is about you understanding that you're coming from some place which is unknown. A consciousness builds inside you, and then you experience that consciousness, and then the body expires because bodies expire, and then that's it. They use that simple concept to sell you a medicine for something that you're not sick of. They're just telling you that you need fools or pedophilic idiots or greedy fuckers or petty little scared children that don't know what love is, and they tell you to follow their lead because they are the leaders, they are the religious ones. But who makes them the perpetrators of what's good or right when they end up covering for pedophiles and covering for violence and covering for things that thoroughly affect the experience of a lot of even children in a negative way. You have religious people going to Africa telling them not to use condoms because it's against what God is intending. And what the fuck are you saying, dude? They're one of the most ravaged towns or civilizations that there are. And it's because of the lack of education and them not knowing that AIDS is a preventable thing if you just are careful with your body. But no, the what seems to be more important is the religion being right about their interpretation of whatever the prophet said that got written down like 200 or 300 years after the prophet apparently existed. And it makes no sense because those are rules that probably were helpful in that regard at that point, and religion was a sort of way to try to keep control over strong people, because strong people usually are the ones, or were the ones who had all the power and all the influence. And it becomes this kind of game of us understanding that we're capable of actually being a civilization, and then remaining with our Neanderthalistic way of being, which is just reactive and trying to wage war and fight over resources and take over things just because you can, just because you say that you are powerful. And that's why the world is like it is, because other people are thinking the same way, because you apparently are the example. You are number one. That's what you claim every single fucking time. We are number one. And yet you are the worst fucking example of what freedom is supposed to be, because you like freedom for your own people. Not that much so lately, because you're even killing your own citizens just because they don't agree with you. And that becomes a whole subject of man, you are the ones who are supposed to be leading the way. You are supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be intelligent. You are supposed to be fucking civilized, and that's not what we have at the moment. We just have a lot of people who never knew love and don't know what the fuck love's supposed to feel like, because what they only know is fear and intimidation and aggression and jealousy and envy. That's the only fucking language that they speak. So it's impossible for us to make them understand through empathy that they are the causes of all the problems that they defend themselves against or that they complain about. They are the cause of every single problem socially. Just look into the way that things go. Why poverty is a thing, just because some people want to hoard more than others, and that's fucking stupid, because that's never been a system that worked. It's fucked up socialism, it fucked up communism, it's fucking up capitalism, and capitalism, even I can agree that it's not a bad idea. But unchecked ego is just fucking everything up, because it can, because it's powerful, because it's the owner of the resources. How can it be the owner? The wealthiest people on earth are the ones that have actually obtained that wealth through cheating, through lying, through exploitation, and through damaging the environment. A lot of other negative things, but those are the most important ones, and they are the cause of all of those situations. And right now we're getting hotter summers and colder winters, and it's gonna be getting even worse if we don't stop allowing unchecked egos to just keep on running amok with their idiocy and their oblivious intent of trying to be more than the next guy, or have a bigger dick than the other guy. I'm pretty sure that a lot of white guys are racist, or how they call themselves racist, or we call them racist, just because they think that that's a way to complement the lack of his girth, or the lack of his length, or the lack of his melanin, probably the lack of rhythm. I mean, there's a lot of things to be jealous about for white people, which they suck at. The only thing that they're fucking great at is lying and taking over things. And that's fucking sad, because they are supposed to be the example, the ones that we admire, because they don't lack mental, because they can't process the sun adequately. So we admire them. We call them successful because they call themselves successful. So that's where we are at every turn. We keep on ignoring the mediocrity of their ways, and keep on thinking that that's success, because he who doesn't fuck everybody or anybody over is not able to be successful. And again, they call themselves successful. They give themselves awards. Even there with their made up awards, they are corrupt as hell. So what can you expect out of those people? To them, winning is not important. To them, cheating is important, because they will never win. Cheating is not winning. Cheating is you knowing that you're lesser than the other guy, and so you need to get some kind of advantage over them. So what do you think that means? That means that he's better than you. If you're cheating, he's going to be better than you. Even if he's comes up in third place and you in first, you're still going to be lesser than him in that regard, with that ability. You don't need to be perfect, dude. You don't even need to keep on competing just because your dad or whoever expects it from you. You need to enjoy your life. If it's competing, great. Enjoy it. Enjoy the competition. Don't be a fucking dick and try to win over everything. Cheaters are not winners. Cheaters are the lowest class of people who hoard, because they hoard attention, and they hoard awards that are not theirs, and they will never be. No matter how many times they try to justify it or place it in their heads that they are number one, they are not. If they cheated in any way, they are lesser than the guy that came before them or after them. So what are we talking about? Why are we calling ourselves number one if we're not able even to take care of our own? What are we calling ourselves number one when we have all these homeless people hustling because they can't afford it anymore? A simple life that was promised to them in movies, or in retrospective of times that were almost 70 years ago, and they were great times, and they came after a great fucking depression, and everything was better because we started taxing the people who had the most by a rate. I think it was like 90%. So that's why a lot of people had cars and homes, that they were able to afford that. But since the 80s, the mid 80s, with this fucking mediocre actor and who became a mediocre president who fucked everything up for everybody, and we're feeling the effects up until this moment, and there are still people who admire that guy for what he did. But again, he just made it possible for idiots to cheat decent people out of their taxes and out of their benefits and out of their rights, just because the greedy need more, just because the apparently successful, the apparently civilized idiocy of elites somehow thinks it's the right way to go. Their ways are the way to go, and it's just mediocrity disguised. It's very, very tactfully and very thoroughly disguised as success, but it's just mediocrity in the end. Just take away the mask. That's what Scooby was trying to tell us with their cartoon. I mean, it sounds repetitive, but again, it is a repetitive thing. We keep on allowing those idiots to take over things and control our taxes and control our resources. We keep on letting them send our children to die just because their buddies need a little bit more money to buy more things that they already have. I mean, it's dumb, and they call themselves followers of prophets that were telling them to love themselves. But they don't know what love is because they don't know how to share. They don't know how to be free. They only know restrictions. They know behavior through threats and punishment. They don't believe in being a decent person without any kind of religious background, just because being a decent person is the right thing to go, because it's the right thing to do, because you feel great when you are a person who likes to help and a person who likes to say thank you and to apologize when it's the right moment and when it's necessary, because we don't need to apologize all the time, but we need to apologize because we're not perfect and we will fuck it up at one point or do the wrong thing. But the important thing is to realize that you are able to do that. You are able to stay a decent person if you just realize that you're not perfect, and you will make mistakes, but you own up to them and you will move forward, and that's the only way to go. Because making excuses for shitty behavior and for horrible things that we do is how we get to where we are right now. How we let a convicted felon, known female abuser, and how do you call it, the golden cow, the false idol, how you call it. And we're letting that guy do along with his minions and his bootlickers, to run everything to the ground just because they need a little bit more money. Apparently that's going to make their penises grow, or it's going to make their white skin be more valuable than the dark skin who has more talent than them. And that's the whole point. I mean, again, racist people are just racist because they are envious. It's not a race. They're not even racist. They don't understand that we're not racist. We're just bodies who adapted over the sun and the environment, and physical traits became apparent, and that's it. We evolved to adapt to those places. It's not about race. We're not racist. We're a human species, and we have a bit of a one race, which is the Neanderthals, the ones that apparently have our society plagued with negative things because of their genes, their aggressive genes and their thoughtless genes. And again, it's about that, and we cannot talk about religion, because the people who are supposed to be the most religious, who are supposed to be understanding what love is and what community is, the first thing that they do, instead of trying to debate or trying to agree or trying to disagree in a respectful way, they go to violence, because they don't know how to respond to truth or to reason. They're never been taught reason. They're being taught to follow it, to conform to what it's read to them and what is interpreted for them. And that's why we can't talk about religion or politics, even though they are the main things that we're supposed to be talking about, because talking about those things is what enables us to understand what's going on and understand how badly we're getting fucked by greedy fucking assholes that never knew about love and that never knew about companionship and understanding and patience and caring. They understood only words like nannies and boarding schools and abroad and anything to not be with the children and the wife or the husband that you conform with just because it was the right thing to do, or because you were pressured into doing, or your parents didn't let up on you having a family or having children when you didn't probably want to have children. And all these social pressures that they don't come from a negative place. Most of them, they come from a well-intentioned enterprise of our parents trying to have what's best for us, but what's best for us to enjoy our existence. That's the only way that you can honor something that is given to you, by enjoying it and actually being grateful for it. If they give you a gift and for your birthday and you don't use it and you just have it there in a corner collecting dust, I mean, it's a nice gift. It could be a beautiful gift from afar, but you're being vicarious when you're supposed to be the main protagonist of that story. You're supposed to be taking that toy out of the box and using it every single fucking day of your life. There will be times when you don't want to use it, right? And that's fine. You're allowed to rest for a while from every single kind of activity that you have, but you are not allowed to waste it, because they don't know what's best for you with their rules and with their restrictions. They don't have the same intent as you to live your life, so just ignore them. ignoring them is what worked best for me, because I was able to know who I am, know where I wanted out of life, and actually have been able to achieve most of the things that I wanted. And dreams are clouds. They change in time. They are never what they were at the beginning, but they're still clouds. The dream is there. The possibility is there. You just need to not conform to the saying of love or happiness being impossible, because that's not a correct saying. That's the saying of mediocre people who cling to money as a reason to live, because they were not able to be brave enough to live a life that they wanted to live, because being successful for their parents is being able to buy things and to have things and to get likes on Facebook and to make others feel envious of what we were able to buy. And that's not a good life to live, man. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I have it in my family. I'm not economically sound at the moment. I'm not in a bad place, but I'm not how a good, easy going life should allow me to be. I'm still trying to relax and enjoy this. But the point is that one. I mean, you don't need to conform to having things so that you are able to be happy, or you think that that's happiness, but it's not. And you can see it over and over again with people who have a lot of things, who are very famous, and they don't have the happiness that they deserve, just because they took the easy way out. They took the fast lane. They took the way of conforming to what's cool according to TV and not what's cool according to themselves. So they never enjoy their experience, and they become numb, and they become these spiteful, regretful, envious people who cannot be satisfied with whatever they have. They need to have more, even if it means taking it from others or damaging others to be able to obtain it. And that's where we are right now. And the dangers, one of the dangers of religion is that allowing your parents to tell you that phrase, which is honor your parents, means that you need to make everything or to do everything that they tell you to do. And that's not the point at all. The point of this life is to live it, be alive and breathe and enjoy things. Otherwise, you're just not honoring anything. You're not even honoring yourself, let alone your parents. You may be able to do whatever they tell you to and conform to their way of being, but if you're not happy with that, then you're just wasting your time, and you're going to become 60 or 70, and then you're going to regret everything and say, oh, why the fuck didn't I do what I wanted to do? I mean, look at me. And that's an awful feeling to have, and it's an awful scenario to place yourself in, but doing so on my perspective, for what it's worth, actually imagining myself as an old man and regretting everything just made me just not want to do that anymore, and just be happy and do what I want to do with my life. I enjoy my wife, I enjoy the company of my son, and it's something that I will never regret, and I will always be grateful for every single fucking day, even my dogs. It's something that I enjoy, and everything that happens to me has happened, and that's been pain and awful situations, but there's also been way more great moments since I've gotten to get to this mentality, and it's a fucking great trip, man. And that's one of the dangers of religion, and it's telling you to do what your parents tell you to do, but that's not what that means. It means honoring your parents means enjoying your life. Just think about it. I got it, and I'm an idiot, so it's going to be easier for you. So thank you for listening if you did all the way through, and hope you have a great day. Bye.